What's going on, YouTube? My name is Jacob, and today in today's commentary I want to talk about Destiny and the Taken King DLC and why it failed to deliver a coherent story to the overall narrative of Destiny, of the the base game. Because if you guys remember, a year ago when Destiny finally released and we all got to play the game, it was very apparent that this story was half-assed. I mean, just a year ago before release, one of the main writers, from Halo, completely abandoned the project. Supposedly was pursuing different creative tasks or goals, or it was something like that. It was a very vague explanation. It didn't clarify his leave. Now, a lot of people suspect that, at the end, Activision came in and, completely threw everything, all of his work out the window and told him, you know what, we're going to fuck up your story and we're going to go with our story because fuck you, we need the money and we're going to cut this into DLC because, people are going to buy it. And sadly, it's happening right now. As you can see with the Taken King DLC, a lot of people are pissed off about this, including myself. Very, very disappointed about some of the things that are being taking place in this particular DLC and the where this game is heading. Now, with that being said, I want to go back into the some of the weaknesses that this particular DLC or new quote-unquote storyline, the Taken King, had. Now, one huge mistake that the Taken King DLC did, when it came down to the story, they came in thinking that their base game was already good and it was already filled with lore, and everybody cared about what the fuck they were doing. Everybody gave a shit about Crota, everybody gave a shit about the Hive and the Fallen and the Cabal and the civil war that was going on between the Cabal and and all this multiple race factions, which we didn't. The thing is, I want to take a quick look back at Bungie's flagship, its other flagship, which was Halo. Now, Halo had an awesome storytelling. I mean, they knew what the fuck they were doing. I mean, the thing is, Halo had a bunch of lore, and even if you played the base game, the games like from Halo 1 to Halo 2, even Halo 3, you had a coherent, you had a basic understanding of what was going on. The Covenant, have a strong belief in the Halos, but they don't know that they're weapons, and they want to activate them because of this great journey. And the humans, they know that it's a super weapon and it's gonna kill them, so now they have to stop them. You see, pretty simple. And the thing is, it would dive into more detail, as the games would go on and on. They had novels, they had books. They had, had a shit ton of books. I had a friend that he used to have all the books, and they were very, very interesting to read through. And you just wanted to keep on learning, even about the side characters. The factions that you didn't even care about. For example, the Grunts. Those motherfuckers, they got kidnapped. They got taken away, against their will, to join the Covenant. And at the end, to add insult to injury, their planet got, glassed, just like Reach. So that's basically what happened, and that's just a little story about the Grunts, okay? Kind of like a side faction, kind of like a faction that you don't really care about. You kind of make fun of it because they're so weak, but in reality they're pretty strong because, they had this civil war between, the Covenant and the Grunts. It was kind of like the Grunt Rebellion, there was also the team, the Hunters, which I didn't know about. I mean, you hear about this in Halo 2, okay? When you're in the mausoleum of the Arbiters, the Arbiters kneeling down, and the prophets tell them, without the Arbiters, there couldn't be, the teaming of the Hunters would have not been possible. The Grunt Rebellion would have not been stopped. They would have fucking wrecked us because there were so many, and that's where the strength comes from. It was a lot of interesting shit like that. It was a lot of cool stuff like that it was put into the game, but on the sides, it was kind of like the garnish on your steak, basically, which was great. Now, what we got here in Destiny, it's kind of like when a really crappy wannabe Star Trek TV show comes into play, and they're putting themselves out there like they've been in the series for a while, that everybody knows what the fuck is going on, that everybody cares about the characters and the protagonists and the antagonists, and they're generally interested about their actions and their purposes. And it's not. That's how Destiny came in. And I know there's a shit ton of Greenware cards, and Honestly, I don't think players buy a game so they can read through it on the fucking internet. And especially if those players don't have internet access, maybe they don't have a smartphone, maybe they don't, they don't have access to a laptop all the time, maybe they don't have access to internet, a lot of the times. So what do they do? It's fuck them, right? That's not how you do your storytelling, So it's kind of sad to see this kind of, two games that came from the same developer, which was Bungie, the same studio, and all of a sudden it got changed. It got completely wrecked. It got thrown out the window, a year before, its release, and it was now being cut into DLC. So, they can sell it to us piece by piece, as you are seeing right now with the Taken King. Now, I'm opposed, I was really against this. I really did not approve of, cut content out of, content that was already chopped off from the beginning, because there was no coherent story at all. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that, the Taken King DLC did with this quote-unquote storyline. It came in thinking that, hey, people already know, people love our game, people already know what the fuck they're doing. People give a shit about Crota. And in reality, nobody did. People just wanted the weapons. I know that's why I played, through the, the campaigns and whatnot, to get the weapons. That's what I wanted, the loot. And I'm pretty sure you were the same way, so you gotta ask yourself, did I just go through this raid because, I really wanted to kill this boss, because I was, in a way, emotionally attached to this game enough to make me care about this boss that I had to kill him, that I had the necessity to kill him? Ask yourself that question. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a big no. I'm pretty sure you went into this game because of the loot. After you found out that there was no story, you're like, well, fuck it, I'll get the loot. The only way you can get the loot is through the the strikes and the raids, kind of like the best loot, some exclusive weapons from some of these quote unquote raids. But anyways, that's what it came down to when it came to, for example, Crota. He was just as generic as the rest of the enemies, which was sad. And then when you finally meet him, you just realize that he's just an overgrown version of these smaller enemies, which is a knight. Basically, he's a giant knight, just a little bit shinier with a big fucking sword, and that is it. He was extremely generic. Ares, she shows up, she tells you, she sends you in a couple of quests at the beginning, and then she tells you at the end, you have to go kill Crota. You have to, gather up 5 of your buddies, and you have to go down to the pit, and you have to go kill that motherfucker, because he's gonna kill us. And that's basically it. If you didn't, read some of the Grimoire cards, which I'm pretty sure you didn't, because I didn't take the time to it. I mean, I had the access to, to the Grimoire cards, but I mean, I came into this game, with open arms, thinking that, okay, it's gonna have some good storytelling. It's Bungie. It's gotta have some good storytelling. It's gotta be good, right? But it wasn't, and the Crota mission, the big raid that everybody was, drooling about, is a perfect example. And you as a gamer should be able to criticize this game properly on what it is, okay? Extremely generic. Now, the Taken King DLC just made it even worse. I mean, what's gonna happen next? The Taken King's brother's gonna show up? I mean, they did sequel bait on the, at the end, which was kind of like a slap in the face if you ask me. It's like, you don't get to kill the king, he just fucking disappears, slaps in your face, and then he leaves. You see what I mean? So at the end, the Taken King just left even more holes, in which was already, a story filled with, a bunch of, potholes everywhere, which is a shame. It was really a shame, because again, it's like the story, from the Taken King DLC. They came in thinking that people already knew what the fuck was going on. People had a good idea, and they were emotionally attached to the game, and that was one of the main things that they did wrong. They thought that people were emotionally attached to this game enough to care about these, particular enemies, which nobody did. I don't know why I'm, fighting the Fallen. I don't know why I'm fighting the Cabal. I don't know why I'm fighting the Vex. The Hive are cool. I like the Hive. They come in, they remind me of the Flood, basically, because they're basically the Flood. But still, I don't know what's going on at all. And I mean, if you tell me that I have to go into the internet and read out of the Grimoire card so I can know what the fuck is going on, and that's what storytelling is coming down to, then it's pretty sad. And Destiny's path is heading on a very dark way. Okay, they're heading in the wrong direction, which is a shame. Okay, because these studios, they're huge studios. Okay, it's Bungie and Activision. They have I know that they have very talented people, but there's always gonna be somebody in between and be like, it's gonna be like, no, you're gonna cut this piece out, you're gonna cut this piece out, and you're gonna cut that piece out and sell it a year later, $40 or $30. You see what I mean? That's what storytelling is coming down to. Okay, incoherent, incomprehensible, and tedious. And that's what, Destiny sadly was. Now trust me, I give this game the benefit of the doubt. I welcomed it with open arms because it was Bungie. I thought it was gonna be great. I'm like, fuck yeah, it's gonna be another Halo, but it wasn't. And I'm criticizing the game properly, as any other gamer should. And I'm pretty sure you know this, but you want to get your money's worth, and you want to try to squeeze as much life as out of this game as possible. So I'm pretty sure that's why you bought the Taken King DLC. Like I said in my previous video, people are not buying this DLC because they want to learn more about the factions, or learn more about the worlds, or what's going on, or just kind of like the garnish on the steak. You see what I mean? Like I said right now. Just learn like more details about what's going on. Your character, the tower, the speaker, the traveler. People are not buying, the Taken King DLC because they want to learn more. People are just buying the Taken King DLC because they want to try to experience as much as they can, because they couldn't in the beginning. I said that in my previous video. I said that that's the only reason people are buying this game. It kind of seems like it. I've asked a lot of my friends that they're really into Destiny. They try to get into Destiny. My friend, that I went over his house, and he told me, just play the campaign here, Jacob, and I did. And honestly, he didn't get into it. He wasn't interested in what the fuck was going on. Even the final boss battle with the Taken King was just as generic. It was boring. The level of creativity that was put into that particular boss battle was it was just that, at best, which is a shame. It's nothing like comparing a battle with, Tartarus, from Halo 2, when you finally go into the control room and you're like, fuck yeah, I get to fight this dude with a big ass fucking hammer, and then you finally take him down and you feel like a fucking ultimate badass because you were able to take him down, and because you would see all of your, elite friends just coming into play, and you would see Johnson just sniping the fuck out of him so you could take his shield down and you could take a hit on him. You see what I mean? It was cool shit like that that made Halo so good. Outside with along with the side stories, the novels, the books, and Halo Waypoint would always provide videos about the factions. Okay, and here Destiny is not really trying to provide a lot of details. Even a lot of YouTube channels that are concentrate on the lore and the history and stuff like that, their information is very limited. They've said it themselves. You can go on their YouTube channels. I'm pretty sure you'll find a ton of them, and the videos are very small. Why? Because there's very limited information about these factions, which is a shame, because it's what adds more the interest level. It's what bumps up the interest level in the game. So I believe that's the reason the Taken King DLC just made it worse for the overall narrative of Destiny, the base game. So, if you guys enjoyed the video, please like and share. This is Jacob, logging off.